say he submitted to God, but what he's doing is, by Islam's definition, the worst possible sin, which makes him a mushrik.
Well, you heard that guy. Well, he made a big claim. So let's see if his claim holds some weight.
When you say, oh yes, Jesus is a Muslim. Why is he a Muslim? Look right here, he submits. Who does he submit to? He submits to his father. Okay, does that line up with Islam? So Jesus is repeatedly committing the worst possible sin in Islam, shirk, which makes him a Muslim.
So that was the clip. Well, he said that Jesus can't be a Muslim if he called God the Father. Well, is it true? To understand this properly, we must know the exact meaning of the word according to the Mosaic law, because Jesus was the follower of that law. And to understand it according to the Mosaic law, we must know the point of view of the scholars of that law like Rashi and Radak. So this is the thing that Radak said. So let's go to his translation. So this is the translation. With the rod of man, with the plagues of human beings, this says people discipline their children with a rod. Therefore he said, I will be to him as a father, and he will be to me as a son. Meaning, I will rebuke him for his wrongdoing, just as a father disciplines his son, but I will not remove my kindness from him. So Radak explains the father and the son language as a metaphor in 2 Samuel 7:14. And this is what Rashi writes in the explanation of Exodus 4:22. So you can see what does he write. My firstborn son. Firstborn is an expression of greatness similar to I too shall make him a firstborn. So Rashi and Radak, both of them explain the father and son language as a metaphor instead of literal. So by this, we can conclude that Jesus is still a Muslim because the scholars of the Mosaic law took it as a metaphor instead of literal. And to make it even clearer, you do know the verse in the Quran in which Joseph had a dream of 11 stars. Okay? And these 11 stars were bowing down to him. In other words, you also can find the detail in which these stars or the parents, okay, and the brothers who were in total 11, they all bowed down to him. Okay? So, if the parents of Joseph bowed down to him and God didn't do anything against it, so what does it mean? Obviously that it was halal, or it was okay for them at that law. It was not forbidden. So the same thing happens with Jesus, because at his time these kind of terms were normal, but the thing was that they were not considered as literal. So this does not affect the Islam of Jesus. So the whole conclusion he made was just false and based on nothing. So, Assalamu alaikum.